Hello and welcome fans and friends, my name is 8BitBen and today I want to give my first impressions of the Switch from yesterday and also today. Some things I encountered, some things I enjoyed, some things I disliked about the system will all be covered today. So first thing, when it comes to problems with the Switch, I've noticed whenever I put the wrist strap on the Joy-Con, it had got a little bit stuck and it was really hard to kind of get off. So you have to be really careful with the way you take them off. I actually quite like the Joy-Con grip. I think this thing is really comfortable. This fits really well in my hands. Obviously be my way to play the console while it's in docked mode. Right now it's charging, has got a huge amount of charge, but it'll do whenever I'm out and about. Of course, you can adjust the settings to help it last longer, but the nature of this thing, it's not going to last a long time without some kind of external battery. So yeah, the screen on it is a really nice size. It's bright, it's very fluent. Zelda seems to run better on it in handheld mode than it does in docked mode, as I've heard before. It is playable on the TV, of course. It only chugs at certain points where you're around lots of enemies or you're in the area that's still trying to load. I think stuff like that will be worked out as updates come out and stuff like that, but I'm really enjoying Zelda at the moment, so yeah, I don't really want to spoil it, but it's a very different experience from any other Zelda game I've ever played. There's lots of exploration, it doesn't hold your hand, and it encourages you to find your way to these 4 shrines that I'm going to at the moment. That's the only story detail I'm going to give you at the moment. You have to find 4 shrines, and you have to go over this part of Hyrule that you start off on. I forget what you call it. And other problems I had was I accidentally put the Joy-Cons on the tablet console the wrong way round, but thankfully it actually wasn't that hard to take off. So that can be something that you can encounter sometimes, but it honestly is pretty simple to take these things off the tablet. It's just I find it was very difficult to take them off the straps themselves, and it also, after a good while, if you're playing it with actually, if you're playing it in any mode, the console itself actually gets warm after about 2 hours or so of playing. Just so you be careful whenever you're playing it in docked mode and also handheld mode. Make sure whenever it starts to get warm that you take a little break and let it sit for a while so that the battery doesn't melt. You know, because you only just got this brand new console, you don't want it to melt. And right now I only have one game for the Switch, which is Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I only have one controller for the console, and that's this here. I know I've already mentioned it, but this is really comfortable, I feel. And I really like the way the sticks move, and they're actually very small. They're, again, very much like PS Vita sticks, but a little bit bigger. I actually quite like these. I think they're very usable and very kind of grippy as well. No real problem with the layout of the controller either. So I don't really have much use for getting the Pro controller right now until it goes down in price. No doubt I'm going to end up getting that controller at some point, but right now £65 or £60 is far too much for that controller. I've heard there's a method of how you can get it for £35, but I'm going to wait till that's an official price, like somewhere around that range, maybe whenever it goes down to like £40, because I feel like £60, that's far too much. Whenever you're paying on average for a PS4 or Xbox One controller, about £40, you know, like, it's bad enough that you have to buy a Pro controller for a brand new console you just paid like hundreds of pounds for, and then they're asking you to buy a Pro controller for it. That's something that should come with the console itself. But of course I can understand that it helps keep the cost down for the company and also the consumer, so they make those things separate so that we don't have to end up paying like £350 for the console and Pro controller. At least that's an option. It's not absolutely essential to have the Pro controller. And again, I'm happy enough with the Joy-Con grip, so for now I'm happy enough with that. And my last thing I want to mention is what sort of mode I prefer to play the console in. I would say it's with the tablet and controller if I'm out and about, but if I'm in the house it's obviously on the TV, because who doesn't like a bigger screen to play your games on? But if I'm like cooking something downstairs, I can play my game while I'm waiting for it to cook, and I think that's fantastic. This is why I love the Switch so much. This is why I love the PS Vita a lot as well, because you can play that thing anywhere and it gives you home console style graphics. That's what I most appreciate, and what my biggest gripe about the 3DS was that the graphics weren't amazing for it, but if they really did take advantage of that technology, some games looked really good, like Nintendogs and Pokemon Moon I think look really decent. Like, there's certain games that look amazing on the 3DS, but the Switch is a whole new level. Like, it's so, like, it's not ahead of its time, but it's at least going to be able to compete with the PS4 and Xbox One more so than the Wii U could. And right now I'm actually had the straps on and this sounds so wrong. No, but I have like the Joy-Con straps on, and these actually feel probably more comfortable with these little black things on them than they would without, because I think, I don't know if that's supposed to be like that, but I know you could probably hold one of them like that, but gosh, that strap is tight. If I could just adjust it, you could play it like that, but being able to hold it like a Wii Remote and Nunchuck is also pretty neat, because I actually find that pretty comfortable, but I do prefer a traditional controller, so it's whatever you prefer. This is one of the biggest strong points about the Switch, is because you could choose so many different methods of how you control the system, just like the Wii. And the Wii U, of course, as well, was able to use different Wii controllers, so very much can suit your taste. And I can imagine them actually taking advantage of these side buttons. Like, that'd be so cool for shooting games and whatever sort of stuff that you can think of for Joy-Cons. Like, that can definitely have so much potential. It feels, because you have total control basically over 4 buttons here and on the top almost, so that would be super useful for certain games, and that is definitely something they should concentrate on as an idea for certain games. But I'm not going to rant on much longer about the Switch, but so far I really like the system. It's not absolutely perfect, but you just have to be careful of it whenever you put it in docked mode and stuff like that. But as time goes on, there's going to be updates for the system anyway, so it's going to get to the point where games like Zelda work perfectly. Hopefully, I'm hoping that gets to that point. If not, I'm still happy enough the way it is at the moment. It's still playable. I haven't not been able to play it. I've had no problems with the Joy-Cons desynking at all. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, but only do that if you want to.